Ubisoft has made so many terrible decisions when it's come to Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it seems every single day they are facing more backlash from not only Western gamers, but Japanese ones. And now we're finding out Ubisoft is getting absolutely obliterated after debuting a new collectible featuring Yasuke and Noe, alongside what appears to be a destroyed Torii gate. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, there are so many people that have worked on this project. There's gotta be hundreds of developers, of the quote historians that they've hired, the higher ups at the company who are checking over work. So you would think that some of these mistakes wouldn't be happening. And I'm saying mistakes because I'm being extremely generous here, because at this point there's been so many mistakes that it really does truly seem intentional. And now Ubisoft is finding themselves in hot water yet again over Assassin's Creed Shadows, and specifically a collector's collectible that features Yasuke and Noe on what appears to be a one-legged Torii gate. Now, they have two figures here. So what they could have done is they could have done a left side collectible and a right side collectible. One's Yasuke, one's Noe. They connect in, some way, shape, or form, and they make one statue. That wouldn't have been a problem. But instead, they decided to have this imagery that has infuriated Japanese gamers. The official description of the toy states legendary samurai Yasuke. He was not a legendary samurai, he was more of a retainer. So, not accurate there. And stealthy shinobi Noe, dual protagonists of Shadows, ready to fulfill their destinies and usher in a new era for Japan. Collectors captures iconic Assassin's Creed scenes in a cute, I think that's what that's supposed to say, new 6-inch format, the perfect size to fit in any collection. And of course, there are plenty of people who I'm sure are going to buy this game, who would be interested in this collectible. I personally think after this mistake, Ubisoft should have this pulled, but because they're most likely already made and Ubisoft does not care, they're not going to do that. Now, if you don't understand what the problem with this is and this imagery is that there is only one-legged Torii in Japan, and that, of course, is the gate that was destroyed in the Nagasaki atomic bombing. There was never any Torii gates that were intentionally designed like this. There has never been imagery like this, of course, before Nagasaki. And now suddenly you've got Yasuke in a way just casually chilling in front of one. Every single quote mistake that Ubisoft has made has only made people feel like they are doing things to intentionally disrespect Japan and Japanese gamers, and this really makes it seem like that even more, right? Ubisoft is a company that in the past has spent over $500 million on game budgets. So they've either, of course, hired dollar store historians, which we already know that they've done. There are a few that they worked with who seem to be legitimate, but quite a few of them don't seem to, really know what they're talking about. They're over there writing Yasuke fan fiction, like Thomas Lockley, but I personally think at this point they are intentionally disrespecting Japan. There's no shot this many mistakes have been made. They are a company that puts so much money towards products, spend years making games, and we're talking about a pile of issues at this point with this, of course, one-legged Torii gate. We know that they had the Japanese reenactment groups banner, which was a major situation, seeing as Ubisoft said that they would remove it from the game. They're basically going to patch out that imagery, but they were not removing it from the art collector's books, most likely because those are already printed and they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere and they don't want to, burn all of them and restart and make new ones because that would cost money. But if they truly were committed to historical accuracy and also respecting this reenactment group, they would have reprinted these books, and they didn't. And then, of course, we saw just a few weeks ago, the Assassin's Creed Shadows game was accused of using Zoro's sword from One Piece and props from Amazon as official artwork. You truly and genuinely cannot make this shit up. It's like they think that we are just so stupid, like we are not gonna notice that this is the case, but everybody has noticed that's happened. Never mind historically inaccurate architecture that's in the game, the music that's historically inaccurate because there's like hip hop behind Yasuke's battling. It's just really awful, and they don't seem to care. Of course, the lead producer has doubled down recently on the game's commitment to be, quote, as authentic as possible, but if they were committed to that, none of these situations either would have happened or they would have tried to make these situations better, and instead, they don't seem to care, and now everybody is destroying them. You have Razorfist saying Ubisoft included an artifact from a nuclear detonation in what promises to be the biggest bomb of the year. God is a stand-up comedian. I mean, all of the people that made the decisions at Ubisoft for imagery like this to be put in the game, the certain narratives to be put in the game, they all need to be fired and blacklisted from the industry because these things are not acceptable. Again, if it was just one mistake, I'd be like, okay, it is what it is. We're human beings, but time and time and time again does make it seem intentional. Ubisoft just keeps digging themselves deeper. I mean, my tweet is also here. Ubisoft spent $500 million on game budgets before, so they either hired dollar store historians or intentionally disrespecting Japan. We have Kitsune saying Ubisoft used an atomic bomb relic for its marketing campaign. This is what die money buys a company, and it's so true. They thought that this was some cool little figure, that this was going to get people interested in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and now it's just led to the wrath of gamers from around the world. I mean, this did, of course, originate from a Japanese account saying, please spread the word. Assassin's Creed Shadows figures from Ubisoft, a famous Japanese hate and criminal company. I've never seen a one-legged Torii other than the one destroyed by the atomic bomb, of course. Again, it's not like these were intentionally, made for imagery before. It was only after Nagasaki that we saw something like this. So I, of course, will be keeping my eye on this game going forward. It's still 2 months away from release, so that does leave a lot of room for Ubisoft to mess up, for us to see even more blatant disrespect in the future. So I, of course, will be keeping my eye on this. I expect Ubisoft to continue to mess up, and I do think that this is going to be a disastrous launch for them. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this and, of course, found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.